So you got yourself another smoke, huh? For part three here. You hear me?
All right. I had to click OK.
Okay, sorry about that. I said, so you got another smoke for the goddamn part three video here, huh?
Huh?
Then you got yourself another smokes for goddamn part three.
Oh yeah, I got a bunch ready.
How many smokes do you have a day?
I don't know. I don't count.
So you don't
I
buy them by
got
the pack, like you don't, or you roll your own.
I roll my own.
Okay,
Yeah.
I figured that's a more of a
I,
Holland.
I'm a cowboy.
Yeah.
You guys invented that shit
Did we invent that shit? That was us.
back in the day. Yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
don't even know if it's a European thing. I
you
didn't
you know our history better than I do.
well, some maybe, but some not.
Yeah.
There's some
Well,
parts of history I'm not really interested in, to be honest.
same. Well, so I got to
Yeah.
ask my main question because I'm sure viewers of the channel, regular viewers, they're probably like, God damn, what the fuck? Because this is part three now. And
Yeah.
part one, they'll go up in order. I'll post a part one first, part two, but I'll probably space them out like do one of your parts a couple days later, then, because I know in the past I posted when I've had several parts like when I've done ones with my brothers and others. If I post them all in a row, it gets less views. If I space them out, it kind of I don't know, it just gets more views, so more traffic. So I'll space them out a few days. So some people are probably like, "What the fuck? I can't believe he didn't ask the most obvious fucking thing," since he talked about it in his video that you emailed me on. And that question
Hmm.
is, what are the odds then that Centurion, the four original members, would be willing to do a show? Let's say I put it on.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
What are the odds of that ever happening? Like 100% no way, 50%
Uh,
chance. I could do it, but so and so won't do it. Like, what do you think of the odds, and like, what would be the reasons of somebody wouldn't want to, etc.
okay. Let me be really, really, really honest.
The way I like
I
it. It's the only way I like it.
I don't think it's gonna happen, but if like the three dudes were up for it, I'm in. I'm immediately in.
And
And
would you
I
be in?
know
Would you be willing? Would you be willing to do the vocals?
oh sure, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. I actually prefer to do the vocals because playing drums in Centurion is a different job than playing drums in Severe Torture.
Okay.
Severe Torture for me was easier than Centurion or Nox because that's also something that Patrick didn't really have correct in his answer to you. Why did Nox turn into Centurion all of a sudden again? But we get to that later. But for a whole reunion thing, I know that Wim has put down the drumsticks for good, is what he posted on his page, is that he retires from drumming because he needs a long time to recover. And, he's a couple of years older than me.
When you mean
And
when you mean long time to recover? What did he have, an injury or something?
no, but just after playing really intense for a show or rehearsal, you kind of feel it more like when you're 18 years old. And I kind of noticed that as well, but that also has to do with the fact that I don't really do a lot of blasting now every week. Well, there's a lot of blasting in the band Grey Aura, by the way. So whenever we have a lot of rehearsals planned, I get back in shape again, and it's something you don't forget. It's like muscle memory. Wim is more like a power drummer. It's a lot of movement and a lot of power, and he was never a really technical drummer, and he admits it as well. He never took any lessons.
We could send this video for Wim because it's funny. I knew your answer was going to be if it was a problem. I knew it was going to be between Wim and Rob. My response to that is Wim is if
I
he's
don't
if
know.
he's
Well, we're all good. I mean, Wim was playing a show with Inquisitor in Tilburg, and me and Rob and Patrick all went there to watch. Or I don't know if Patrick was there. Me and Rob were definitely there. But
well
my
for
memory,
Wim
I
though
got to.
for Wim like in case he sees this video or you send it to him, my
Yeah,
my response
I
to
would
him.
love him. I would
But my
love him to pick up the sticks and do a
same here.
reunion with
My
Centurion.
my response to this of where his incentive could do it. Number one, I was like, we're talking 2026, most likely summer. So we have over a year.
Yeah,
So that's number
yeah,
one. That's a lot of recovery. Number two, I sent you the offer and email. I don't need to say it publicly. It's nobody's goddamn business.
yeah,
So it's a free paid trip. You can make a vacation on it, free trip to America plus getting paid. And
yeah,
we could do an in-person interview. That'd be awesome too. Do an in-person interview with all four of you, the original lineup. Come down to
yeah.
Hell's Headbangers shop. chauffeur you around. So it's kind of like a mini vacation that you get paid for, and it's and
Yeah.
he's got year and a half to over a year, about a year and a half until you'd
Yeah.
have to do it.
I personally would love it, you know, because we've done some really cool things in the past. And I remember the only time that Centurion went to the States was for the Milwaukee Metal Fest in '99.
Yeah.
And Full Moon got us there for like a whole week. Don Decker from Anal Blast was booking us there. And we were like, what I heard, like one of the few bands that actually got paid
Oh no shit.
and played there because
Yeah.
it was like a pay to play
Yeah.
kind of gay thing that I
Yeah.
don't like. But anyway, um, uh, that's how it apparently works at these Jack Koshnick fests or whatever, you know. And so we were honored to play there, and we had a lot of fun, man. I mean, I have memories from that. We were there for like a whole week to play a 25-minute set. I mean, that's ridiculous. And um, that whole hall, we played in the Kilborn Hall that could have like 1,000 people, and they fitted like 1,100 people in there.
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck is going on here? How the hell do all these people know us? The guys from Crisium were watching us. The guys in Vital Remains were watching us. Dave Kibler from Levidity. I saw that interview, by the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
It was funny.
Yeah.
I love the guy, but
Yeah.
he was in the front because Dave was one of the first guys I was doing trades with.
Yeah.
He was like in the front with his shirt out, like in his belt from his pants, like, you know, banging and moshing and everything. Dan Lilker was watching our show. I was like, what the hell, man? It was crazy. So to do something like that again, you know, playing the stage for the diehard fans that love this music and understand this music, because of course, most of the people that listen to death metal nowadays, they don't know Centurion. They know the
Oh,
big bands and they
yeah.
know
No.
the
So
popular
that's the
bands
thing.
that,
Here's the thing is too. That's why I'm kind of like, obviously, it doesn't sound like I have to sell you. Another thing is too is I would want like that'd be pretty much it'd be a requirement if I was putting on the show and paying everything. I was like no less than a 45 minute to an hour set. The longer the better, because like I'm doing my first fest this year, and I kind of like have
yeah.
the reins on what I say, and the club's
Mm-hmm.
cool with it. Like I'm calling like every band is getting a 45-minute set, and the last band's Attic from Germany sounds very much like Merciful Fate. I talk about it all the time. One of my favorite 2000s bands of all time. They're
Mm-hmm.
my headlining band. I'm buying their visas, their flights, flying them in. They're doing it. I
Yeah.
asked them to do a 75-minute set. They're like, sure. So every band's being charged. There's none of this 20-minute set bullshit. So it'd be the first time for Centurion in
Yeah.
the States to play a full set. And
Definitely.
myself, I'm just one as a fan because I could honestly say if there's one band that I could see like today, and if I had to die tomorrow, only one band, it would be Centurion with the original lineup, without a doubt. That'd be the only that's left that I've never seen that I would be up
Yeah.
that I would say what would be the one thing you'd want to see, and that's me personally. So like myself, like even the offer I sent you, I was like more than likely on that show I'm going to lose money. I probably won't even break even, and that's fine because I don't mind doing
Yeah.
it as a fan. But
The same
yeah,
goes for us. I mean, this kind of stuff, and also the bands that I play for now, you know, the music I make, I don't make for money. I never did it, and I never wanted to do that. That's why I always kept my job.
yeah,
Even
yeah,
in the time with Severe Torture, when we had a chance to go on more and more and more tours, where we actually had to say, like, okay, what are we going to do? Are we going to quit our jobs? And I'm like, okay, man, you can do 4 tours a year, but a year has 12 months, you know, not 4. And not on every tour you're going to make a lot of money. And it's the same trip in Europe over and over and over again in the same clubs. Really? That's what you want to do? And then what, after a couple of years, someone in the band is going to quit, or you don't going to get the offers anymore.
yeah,
You want to go for a real job, and there's a gap in your resume. Like,
yeah,
what company is going to hire you? You know, you did nothing. You partied for 10 years, you know,
yeah,
and we didn't want that. We were like, you know, the albums are not going to get any better if we rehearse every day. It's just going to sound dead, you
yeah.
know?
It's like it'd be stale.
Yeah, I don't like to play my songs too many times. You know, the least times, the better, because then every time I play it, I fully enjoy playing the song,
Yeah,
you know? And of course, I love doing a tour, even if it's 35 shows, whatever. I don't mind, or 40 shows like on the Vader tour, you know? I still love playing the songs. But um, yeah, thing is, I don't know where I was going actually
well, I guess
with
the
the
next
story.
person. Well, the next person, as far as what we're talking on the topic, is what about Rob? Do you think he'd be in or out?
Yeah, well, Rob, you know, Rob is working really hard. He has his own painting company. He works for himself, and he doesn't want to hire anyone because he wants to keep control of the quality. And he works a lot. So for him to pick up a guitar and having the whole hassle of having to rent rehearsal spaces, having to drive there, carry shit. I mean, being in a band is not the easiest hobby. I mean, there's always a lot of stuff you need to care about, and there's emails, there's this, there's that. And for Rob, what I noticed also in the past is that all this side stress that has nothing to do with the creative process, for him, that's like, it's a lot of negative energy that he doesn't really like. Yeah. It's a necessity. You have to do it, but he'd rather not.
Yeah.
And so when we quit with Centurion, that was actually really, Rob just saying like, hey man, I'm done. And with Centurion and Knox, it's really easy. Without Rob, there is no Centurion and there is no Knox. So, all I could do back then is say like, okay, we did whatever we wanted to do because we wanted to do a tour and we did a European tour after Contra Rashina. We always wanted to go to Brazil because of the connection that we have with Brazilian fans that had a lot to do also with Crisian promoting the fuck out of us over there, wearing our shirts. That's what I was willing to tell you in the first video, why I was live most of the times wearing either this shirt or the Ovioletri shirt that I got from Moises himself, that I traded in the States for my Centurion shirt. He gave his Centurion shirt that he got from me to the Ovioletri dude for an Ovioletri shirt, and then he gave that to me for another Centurion shirt.
Yeah. That's cool.
I mean, we traded a lot of stuff back in the day, and there was this club of bands, Crisian, Angel Corpse. Pete Helmkamp actually lived in Holland for a couple of years.
Oh, I didn't know that.
He came to Centurion rehearsals. And then later in the bar, he was explaining to me how to do a proper like he does an Angel Corpse.
Yeah.
So whenever I do on some kind of vocals, Pete is with me in my head in the bar telling me how to do it. It's with a slight cough.
Okay.
Like that.
Well, so it sounds like though you initially said, Rob would probably be. It sounds like Rob would not be in for the idea.
I think I see Rob every now and then. He visits me and we see each other at some shows. And Rob is one of my best friends still, and I respect the man highly. And when he doesn't have the will or energy to do it, so be it. But whenever Rob is ready to play, and whenever he says like, hey man, I want to do some stuff, I always told him, hey man, if you need a drummer or you need a singer, I'm here.
We'll put it this way, like him, like does Rob, like obviously I know you and Patrick, does Rob and Wim, do they know who I am?
Rob definitely knows who you are because you re-released those.
But if you're to say this Dawg and this channel, and if you're like, hey, he's the one, he wants to bring Centurion, would he be like, who?
Oh, but I will probably tell Rob in the next few days, hey man, I recorded some videos with Justin from Hell's Headbangers, and you need to check them because we're talking about you.
Okay, because
he's not gonna like that, maybe.
Part of my answer, part of my response to both of them. So this goes to if Rob and Wim watch this, is that they're kind of like on the fence. I don't know, man. Well, you could get my email from Seth, or better yet, even easier. You're watching this video, it's in the description box. That's my personal email. Seth found it, no problem.
Yeah.
Email me and be like, what would it take for you to do it then? What would it take? I mean, because everybody's got their offer. So everybody has something.
For me personally, it's really easy. If everyone, including you, can make it into the green, I'm happy.
So it sounds like you and I'm pretty sure
personally,
I'm pretty sure Patrick would be easy too. You are the two, them two.
Yeah,
it's like so for those two, I'm like, what would it be worth it to you that you'd be willing to do it? That's my question to them, and they can answer me an email. Both Rob and Wim.
The thing is, it's not up to me. It's up to Rob and Wim.
No, that's I'm asking. The question wasn't for you. It's to them. Yeah. So they're watching this. You'll send them this video. I'm like Rob and Wim. So you tell me to play a show in let's say June June
Yeah.
of 2026, because my first show is June 21st. Dead by Dog is June 21st, 2025. After
Yeah.
that, for the next one, 2026, it'll be June something. It'll be on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I already gave Seth an offer. He can forward you that if he said, if that's not acceptable for you, okay, what is? What would it take for you, Rob, and you win to do it? And you let me
Yeah.
know.
They could even you can donate my payments to them. I don't even mind if you get me over there. I'm good.
Yeah, because flights, hotels, and all that shit. If you guys need, I don't know. What do you think? Do you think you guys would need visas since it's an inactive band? I don't even know.
Yeah. Well, in fact, you do need them because once you're playing a show, even if you're not getting paid, they interpret it as you're working for a club, and they ask entrance, so you're working for them. Blah blah blah, and that's when you have to have visas.
Yeah, because that's
And
no problem. Because I can do visas too. Because I did visas for Attic.
yeah,
I got them. That's in the process right now. It's already paid
just
for. So like
yeah,
flights, visas, and hotels. That's a no brainer. I already know that's already. You don't even
yeah,
have to mention that. I know that. I'm doing that. But then
yeah.
like payment wise for Rob and Wim, it's like, all right, what would it take for you guys?
I don't know what it would take.
Do you need
I
do
think
you need money and you need a trip with the Hell's Headbangers Warehouse? I could do that. You need a trip, take a trip to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
I don't know. I
That's in
don't know.
Cleveland.
No,
Like,
I don't think it's gonna be. I don't think it's gonna be crazy stuff like that. But
yeah,
I think they both, first of all, have to want it.
yeah,
And then once they want it, there's always a way.
yeah.
It's as simple as that.
Well, the good news
It's not
is all
good.
four of you guys are still friends. Then, basically, what you're saying.
Oh yeah, we're still good. I mean, I haven't. The one I haven't talked to the longest was Wim, because there was, well, not really bad blood after we were out of the band, but we didn't talk to each other, and but on the other side, what fucking reason is there to be mad about? It's a fucking band. You did
When you
great
say
things.
longest, though, like how long are you talking? When was the last time you talked to Win?
Whew, it's actually not that long ago. Uh, let's say maybe, I don't know when they played with Inquisitor and the Little Devil, but that's like the time I saw him
Yeah, but that's like
since.
years, isn't it?
Oh, it is. Yeah, yeah, it is years. Yeah, yeah, it is years. And but that's also the thing. He didn't, after Centurion stopped, he didn't do a lot of playing drums for a long time, and then he joined this black metal band, Summit, and they got Inquisitor back again with the original guitar player Eric. And then, when so many years passed, also, I remember when the Hell's Headbanger stuff came out, and you sent me up all these LPs and all this kind of stuff. Me and Rob, we immediately said, like, hey, we have to make a big package for Wim and send him his part of the whole fucking thing. So whenever there's some re-release or whatever, we immediately mail him or whatever.
Well, do you know what Wim thought of them? Like when he goes LPs, what did he say anything?
Oh, he liked him. Yeah, I saw he posted them on his Facebook and everything. Yeah,
Okay, cool, cool.
yeah, yeah. And he's still proud of what he did with his bands, I think. So,
Okay.
and he should. I mean, the fact that we're talking about these albums and that there's people on the other side of the world enjoying them a lot and actually understand what the fuck we were doing back in the day, and took that
Well,
stuff.
dude, you realize this too? Well, you don't
Yeah,
realize it because I didn't tell you. But I mean, I don't know if you know how much of an impact it has because advertising nowadays, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, is social media. That's why I started the channel for the business, right? I
yeah,
had no joke. I've had 5 people already contact me. I had one today. I'm like, oh, well, I'm interviewing Seth in an hour. That they
yeah.
got into Centurion just because of the video I did on the top 5 death metal. One guy bought the Corazon Chaos God CD that we put out on Discogs for $64. And
Holy
other
shit.
guy today, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm searching for that Centurion stuff. We're talking about, he's like, I listened on YouTube. He's like, it's so fucking good. He's like, do you guys think you'll ever repress that or anything? I'm like, it's not on the to-do list at the moment. I would love to repress it. Like for me, like a Purest Fire and Corazon Chaos Gods, if we were to repress the CDs, what I would personally like to do is those digi books, where it's
Mm-hmm.
not a digi pack, it's an actual book. We've done
Yeah, I
several.
know.
We did the Regurgitation Tales of Necrophilia like that, and a bunch of other releases. They're way we did the first 4 Christian albums. We have those in stock right now. First 4 Christians we licensed, and they're on the digi books. If you see them,
Oh wow,
if you send me your
that's
address or
fun.
something, I'll send you a box, Seth. And check them out. They're the
Well,
nicest. Huh?
you gotta tell the guy who paid $64 for the album that I don't hit me if you see me the next time. I still have a bunch of boxes of the Hell's Headbangers re-releases here in my attic.
You know, it's
And
funny if you want to get rid of those, Seth. Maybe if you want to sell them to us for wholesale or something, because we could definitely move those. We'll just put them on our site for retail. If you
yeah,
just
because
want like,
I posted them a bunch of times on my Facebook, like, hey man, we still have some stuff for sale. And every time I sell like a few copies, but it's like either everyone already has it
yeah,
or
we'll
no
talk.
one's fucking
We'll,
interested, you know?
I'll hit you up the email on that. We can talk about that
Yeah,
if you want to
yeah,
move them
yeah,
because we could sell those easily on the health site because we've been selling those for years.
yeah.
Yeah, but it's just funny. 5 people directly told me that like, dude, that Centurion's fucking. Like, I never heard of them. Like they're awesome. So
Yeah, and I
imagine,
got
yeah,
some
if playing over here, they did a show over
yeah,
here. This interview, 100% it's already going to gain new fans, which is kind of cool because you're not letting the
mm,
name die off. You know, it's breeding,
yeah.
it's staying alive. I think it's cool, anyways.
I think it's fucking cool, man. I mean, we never imagined when we started, that it would end up like being this underground cult kind of name sometimes. And I mean, the way people speak about it sometimes, I like, okay, whatever. It's the same when people say like Feasting on Blood or Severe Torture. Yeah, it's a classic record. And I'm like, what?
Dude, it's so funny. You
No,
know when I
man.
first
I
heard
was
that? You
like,
know when I first heard that, Seth?
huh?
I first heard that for the channel in the comments. Somebody asked me about brutal death metal classics or something, right? And I think I
Yeah.
said, like, oh, the classics are going to be like, Butchered at Birth, Effigy of the Forgotten stuff. Somebody's like, what a fucking moron. He didn't even mention Feasting on Blood. I'm like, moron. I was like, I
That's,
got that when it first came out. I was like, the reason I didn't say that is because that was a late, to me, that's like my childhood
yeah.
band. I was like, that came out like, that was late to the game. I was like,
Yeah.
I was mentioning the originals. Like, but I thought
Yes.
that was so cool that the younger generation literally, and I had others say that, like, we talk about,
Yeah.
dude, Feasting on Blood is one of the best brutal death metal classes. I'm like, I guess it is 25 years old, so I guess so.
Yeah.
But I never, to me, I'm just like,
Yeah.
it was a record that came out later, and I bought it, and I was a fan of it
Mm.
since day one, and I was proud of that because I wasn't there to pick up Legion like you were. When Deicide Legion came out, I was 7 years old because I was born in '85. I just turned 40 3 weeks ago.
I was 15 and I got it on a cassette
Yeah,
from someone, and it was a 60-minute cassette, and of course it had Deicide on side A, and Legion on side B, and that was the first time I heard Deicide, because the first time I heard about Deicide was people talking about him.
yeah,
There's this band and the guy upside down crosses, blah 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 blah. There was a fuzz.
yeah.
There was, you know, that was a buzz about a band. I mean,
Whatever your
that's also
image, your
something
fucking
that's kind of
your
out of
video
here.
froze.
I mean,
Oh, there you go. Oh, sorry, your video froze for a minute. It's all
oh,
choppy. Oh,
my
you're good
video
now.
froze. Ah, is it
Yeah,
back?
you're good now. No, you're good. You're good.
Good.
The audio
Ah,
stayed in, but yeah, it froze. That's good. So continue.
okay. No, but it's like there was a kind of a buzz around it, and people were talking about it, and that's also something that doesn't really happen anymore. And there's a band, and boom, there it is, and if they do the promotion right and everything according to the new rules of how you do it nowadays, then you're good, and on the right label and the this and the that and the blah and the blah. And personally, I don't give a fuck about all that, and also Robert Centurion, we even I remember that when we did the Contra Roshinam artwork, the label said like, "Hey, you need to do like a little glow in the outline of the logo so it comes out better." And we were like, "No, we wanted black on that cover and no fucking outline."
Yeah.
Yeah, but people are not going to recognize it. Well, then they have to look better. That's how we, yeah, that's how we see our art. And a band like Portal is like that as well. You
Portal
know,
from Australia.
yes,
Yeah. Okay.
great band.
Dude,
And
that's funny because musically, Portal, I wasn't a big fan of. I thought they were kind of boring, but dude, super cool guys. Me and
oh yeah,
Shane, the singer, we hung out. We just talked, dude. When we hung out, they stayed at my brother's apartment at the time. They stayed there, and we just hung out because Shane likes bodybuilding a lot, like I do. And we just hit it off, man. We went fucking. He's like, yeah, dude, got a place that sells protein bars. Drove him up to the store. We just talked bodybuilding the whole time. And it was funny. I was like, and he's cool as hell, and live they were awesome. Image was like, I'll be honest though, musically wise, man, it's not something I really listen to. He's like, I can understand that. He's like, it's not something like you listen to and like fucking bang on your steering wheel to. He's like, it's kind of like an atmospheric like things like. So I can totally see why someone wouldn't like it. He's like, it wasn't
Oh,
meant to be like he's like, it wasn't meant to be like a Cannibal Corpse where it's kind of like jamming. He's like, it was kind of more
yeah.
to be more atmospheric. No, I get that. But guys, cool as fuck.
Oh, I think Portal has a unique way of how they look at music and look at how, it's even the drum beats are not regular drum beats. They're, yeah, I don't know how to explain it. It goes more towards a certain feeling every now and then. But the funny thing is, I never seen them live. But if you look at these videos live, they play it the same live, note for note. It's insane
Yeah, I seen
because
them
sometimes,
once. I just seen them the once live when they came here. That was that close with that. That was longer than when last time you talked to Win by 15, 16 years ago.
okay,
It was a while, yeah. But they were. It was
yeah,
great. He wears the big clock on the fucking head and shit.
yeah,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like, oh, he's got to be hot as. And it was at this club called No Class, which holds about 250 people. It was packed. I was like, he's got to be sweating his fucking balls off in that thing.
Yeah. Rob from Centurion, he drove one time. I think it was to Paris to see them. They were
Oh, okay,
playing like some one-off show there, and Rob is like a huge Portal fan,
okay,
and he went there. The funny thing is, like, I think a bunch of years back, their guitar player, whose name I forgot now, but he was on Facebook, and I got in touch with him for some reason, and then he was like, "Oh, but you played the Centurion," and he liked Centurion. I was like, "Okay,
that's
that is
really cool.
literally." I mean, Australia is literally the other side of the world, so
Oh
it's
yeah,
it's funny
100%.
how, yeah, it's really funny how like an underground name gets out there with certain people. It's always funny. It's always the same kind of people who agree also on certain other bands
Yeah,
like Crisian, like
yeah,
Angel Corpse, Perdition Temple, who are on your label now, I think, right?
they are. Yeah, yeah, 100%. Yeah, Persian Temple.
Yeah.
I've done a couple
In,
interviews with
in black
Gene, cool
metal,
guy.
Marduk. Yeah,
Yep.
Marduk, I think, is a great band that fits in the same family.
Dude, Marduk, I've said my favorite black metal record of all time. It's hard to pick, but my favorite black metal album, if I had to pick one, is Panzer Division Marduk.
Mm-hmm. I
That's like,
think that, yeah, I think Panzer Division is a great record, but when it came out, I liked Heaven Shall Burn more because it was just more diverse.
uh,
But to be really honest, the last couple of Marduk records, I think they are amazing, man. With
see,
Mortis, as I say,
my
I
only
like
complaint,
Legion,
yeah, my only
but
complaint was it doesn't have Legion, and I'm a stickler for the original vocalist most of the time, and it's good.
yeah,
Like even because the first one without him, Plague Angel, I'm like, holy
yeah,
shit, this is ferociously fast, and it's good. I was like, oh
yeah,
fuck, man. I was like, I really liked Legion's vocals and his atmosphere. Dude, Marduk opened up for Deicide in 2001. That was,
yeah.
I would say, that was my favorite black metal band live I've ever seen. The energy, everything. And that's when Legion was.
But
And Legion
I,
was. I met Legion the same way I met you. Got my picture with him and shit. And he was hands down one of the coolest guys I've ever met in the scene. I don't say that
yeah,
loosely. There's guys like yourself, all the severe guys, Legion, Corpse Grinder, um, all the guys in Impaled and Exhumed. There's a handful of guys where I'm like Danny Nelson from Malignancy. There's a handful of guys I'm like, these are some of the coolest human beings I ever met. It's a select, like, I'll tell you if someo's a dick. I don't just
how
say it. I
about
was like,
how about the Immolation guys? You ever met them?
oh yeah, I interviewed Ross Dolan and Bob Vigna.
Yeah.
They're the friendliest guys in the world. Ross is such a nice guy.
The fun thing is all the other guys you mentioned, like Danny from Malignancy, are all guys we know for years, man, and we always have so much fun with it. Danny is Danny. Danny,
Danny's
if you're watching
hilarious.
this, love you, brother.
I'll send it to you. Dude, I talked to Danny through text. I talked to Danny through text last night because Malignancy is playing my show June 21st. God damn it, West Side Bowl. Tickets in the description box. God damn it, Dead by Dog. Malignancy's playing my show, and they're doing the entire Intrusion Cannibalism album. That was my request.
Well, Ronnie and Danny, they were both playing here at my house, but not as a band with Malignancy, but with my daughter with her toys when she was really young, because they
That's even better, dude.
they were they were visiting here, and then they met my oldest daughter. My youngest wasn't even born, I think. And my oldest was like, okay, let me show you my room. And then Danny was there playing with her toys and
Yeah,
everything.
they're good,
Uh,
dude. They're guys like if they, for example, when they play my show and stuff, if they needed to stay at my house, I would let them. There's not too many
yeah,
people in the metal scene, even bands I like. I was like, yeah, I wouldn't have you over my house. Them I
I've
would.
had a, I've had a whole bunch of bands visiting. I think the record is from Cerebral Bore with Paul McGuire, the Scottish guys who are not around anymore, but Paul is doing tour managing now. and a lot of videos and photography and all that kind of stuff. But also the guys from Cephalic Carnage have been in my house a bunch of times. Lenzik always comes over. Eduardo from Tuba Productions from Brazil and his band Nervo Chaos. They've been here. Inveracity have been here. Origin has been here. Man, there's probably a bunch I'm forgetting even, and but with all these guys, we're always having the time of our lives, doing some barbecuing and drinking and smoking and hanging out. And
Yeah.
it's sometimes when bands have a day off, and they got no place to go, it's like, hey man, just come by here. We got showers, we got washing machines, we can hang
Yeah.
out. Why not? And
Yeah.
it's cool because my daughters now, they've met a lot of musicians already.
Yeah.
And for them, it's normal to speak English, to speak German, to speak Dutch, um, all that
Not,
kind
not
of
like us,
stuff. So,
not like us dumbass Americans. All we speak is English, and shit, I can barely speak that. At least that's what the commenters say.
well, we have to. I mean, it's English is more like a common language
Yeah.
in the whole world, So you guys get away with it. But if your country is so small as ours, you
Yeah.
gotta adjust a bit,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Seth, we got 8 minutes left, so because I mean, I'm not going to hold you all night, but I mean, you're welcome back anytime. We could do this monthly, whatever you want to do. As I don't want to hold you up, especially if your wife's yelling at you. But before this part ends, I did want to at least pick up with Centurion, kind of where we left off. Like, so the question kind of was like, after you guys left for Severe Torture, you answered that. Like when Liber Zax came out, which I like that record a lot too. What did you think about it? Like, what was your take on it? I loved it. I always said I was like Horizonic and Up Here as far as like that's the best shit. But I did like
Yeah.
Liber Zax and the Contra Rational very much. I own them. I bought them. I CD LP of both I own. Loved them. But
Yeah.
what was your take on them because you weren't in it?
Um, kind of. Well, the thing is, I like Jeremy's vocals on it. I mean, he has a good voice. I just tend to go a bit more crazy with my vocals and a bit more wicked. And what he was doing was maybe more mature
Yeah,
and more structured for some reason. So, but that's he's a different singer, so he should do it in his way, and I should do it in my way, And so, yeah, I would have done it differently. But it's always weird to look at an album like that. And it's maybe the same question if you ask me about the new Severe Torture record that's out now, Torn from the Jaws of Death.
I was gonna ask that. I didn't think we were gonna make it to
Yeah,
this part because I plan on talking a lot about Severe Torture. But I guess since you're
yeah.
gonna answer that, yeah. What were your thoughts on it? Because I was going to
I
go
think
into
it's a,
why you left Severe Torture. Like I said, I'm not going to keep you up all night. We could do this again
oh,
another month or
it's so
whatever.
early, man. It's only 9 o'clock, and I never go to bed before 1, so I got
I didn't.
time.
Okay, so it's up to you. It's up to you, and it depends if you're going to get yelled at by the wife. I'm just here at the warehouse. I got all day.
Oh
So
no, no, no. My wife is completely cool with me, so no worries. They know I'm doing a long interview,
yeah,
so
okay, okay,
yeah, yeah, yeah. And but anyways, looking at the new Severe Torture, I left them because I wanted to do something else, and not because I was tired with death metal in general. But I was just we were trying to write a new record for a long time, and a lot of stuff was going on in everyone's lives, and it kind of bled to death for me. So for me, the fury was kind of out of it, and it felt to me more like an obligation than something that I really wanted to do. And if that's the case, then when I'm out there playing a show, then maybe when we're on the road, I'm not going to be like the nicest person or like the most happy person. Uh, so the others already noticed, like, is this still something you want to do? So we didn't do anything for about a year. We took kind of a hiatus and didn't do anything. And then we got back together in the restaurant and talked, and I already kind of made up my mind, like, I'm just done. I need to do something else because if I did this for 20 years in a row, and for 20 years it's like the director of your life, and it seems really heavy to say it like that, but it's always in the back of your head, like, can I do this holiday, or do I need to keep my vacation days for the band, or how's that? How am I going to combine this? How am I going to do it? And I just needed needed a break from all that, and just feel free and see whatever the fuck happened. And then I didn't play drums for about a year. And then Severe Torture, they played a show in Tilburg. And I went to see them with the new drummer, with Damien.
Yeah.
That was a couple of years later because they didn't do anything for a bunch of years either, or write and work on a new drummer. And it was fucking funny because I hear him play the songs exactly the way that I played them on the album. But for me, I play the songs on an album, and some of the details I immediately start developing them, and because there's an album version and a live version of how I play the songs. And the live version can be different too here and there. I always tend to put in like accents or stuff that I improvise on the spot, and sometimes TISH used to turn around like, what the fuck were you doing?
No, dude, I like that live because you know who does that? Talking
Same
about
here.
this, because Glenn does that with his vocals live, and I like it
Yeah.
because it gives it a more of a different feeling. And everybody that knows me on my channel knows I love bootlegs, dude. I collect bootleg vinyls,
Yeah.
bootleg CDs, bootleg CDR recordings. I love bootleg recordings. And when you hear stuff and they say something cool in between songs or they do something different that wasn't on the album, like it's fucking cool.
Yeah.
Because if you just hear the exact
Yeah.
same thing that was on the album, I was like, oh, you can just listen to the album. I was like, but
Yeah.
it brings this energy and this different character that wasn't on the record. I always loved that when there was like I tapped like non-metal band. One of my favorite bands of all time is the Misfits. And I have, dude, you laugh your ass off if you saw the stack of just bootlegs of Misfits vinyls.
Mm-hmm.
And I loved, and they were kings for doing that. They'd fuck up songs, add different parts. And I always loved that shit. So like, it's funny you say that as a drummer, you did that too. Because death metal wise, the only person that really did that I noticed was Glenn. He'd do the highs and parts he wouldn't do on the album, lows on parts and highs. And I thought I always
Centurion,
liked that.
With Centurion, I did it all the time, and I did it sometimes really out of just I don't know, out of trying to live the lyrics and be on that stage and be angry.
What you're feeling at that time.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden a word can come out with a high on the end where it's not on the album, but I don't mind. It's about you want to you want to tell the story. But anyways, what I was getting about when I was watching Severe Torture, I hear their new drummer doing certain details that I only played once on the album recording. And I didn't because I never listened to my old my own albums usually at home. I listen to other people.
Sense. No, makes sense.
Yeah, so there was some details that I recognized live, like, hey, fuck, this is how I played it on the album. I remembered, and that was fucking badass. And I think the new album that they did, I think it's a really good album.
I dug it. I bought the LP at Maryland Death Fest where I interviewed them. And I watched their entire set. I enjoyed it. Yeah. My only complaint on it was that Dennis' vocals are different. Like Dennis's vocals in the first two are sick as fuck. And I would love to get it. I was bummed that Dennis didn't sit in on the interview. And that was gonna be my main question on later ones like Slaughtered and stuff. I was like, why did you change your vocals? But we got a minute and 40 seconds left, Seth. So I guess we'll wrap it up there. But if you want me, I could send you another link if you want to do it now. If not, I totally understand.
If you're okay with me just grabbing another coffee downstairs, I'll be right back here.
Dude, in between each one, dude, while it's downloaded, I got a piss in between each one, anyways. So yeah, no, 100%. Okay. Takes like 4 minutes or so to download the video, and I make sure I was like, is everything recorded? Cool. I check in, then I send you the link. I'm good to go. But
go ahead.
I got my wife knows the same thing. I was like, as long as Seth's game, I was like, I could talk to this guy for fucking hours. Like, I got years to make up for. She's like, oh no, cool. She had to meet up with somebody and take care of some cookie shit. So cool. She had my whole day's planned anyways. I was like, good, because mine is too.
Yeah, they really need to build that bridge between Europe and the States, so it's going to be easier to travel and meet every now and then.
I know it'll be done by the time you and I are fucking dead, though. It's like great. I can't use the fucking thing.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of people from the States that I would love to see more often, and talk to more often. So, it's great talking to you. But hey, let's do another one, man.
All right, well, so this is not Later Devils. This is end of part 3. Part 4 fucking coming. Keep your goddamn eyes peeled. Give him a goddamn later, goddamn it, Seth.
Yeah, Later Devils.
Out here.